podcast is back on. Our guest still has plenty of things to say.
That's all I needed to know. My country is the mecca of tuning. There's lots of things to say. But let's start with this. In Japan, every Custom lover knows the name Wataru Kato. Bringing his own style to bear on supercars. That's his thing. BMW is too dull, and you're in the Liberty Walk playlist, so let the tuning take over. Check it out. New front bumper and rear wing, side skirt at ground level, wide fenders with rivets. Kato's signature, unmistakable. I'm done talking. Just show me what the car can do.
The podcast continues.
Me, and that's all I'm working on. So I'm not here to replicate nothing, to do shows around the world. I think those days for me are gone. I just want to do my masterpiece, right? That's all I'm working on is my masterpiece, and then I'm done.
My name's Becky Evans, and welcome to Motorfest, the podcast, brought to you by Red Bull and the iconic game from Ubisoft, the Crew Motorfest. Now, this is the podcast where I get to chat with some of the world's finest motorsport athletes, and I get to delve into their passions of all things speed, wings, and wheels. And you know what the cool thing is? You can actually listen to this podcast whilst you're playing the game. So jump into your dream vehicle, sit back and relax, and get ready for the show. Let's go. Now that is the sound of the KTM 450 motorbike that you can actually play in the game. Now this bike has got you covered on road, dirt, sand, and even on water, thanks to the very special Motor Surf edition, which has been designed by the athlete that I am joined by today, Robbie Maddo Madison. Robbie, thank you so much for having me here at your home.
No worries, Becky. It's an absolute pleasure, and I'm super excited to have my bike in the game, Crew Motorfest.
No, delighted. I mean, you are a freestyle motocross champion, legend, like absolute pioneer of the sport. And to actually see this place after seeing so many videos of it, it was kind of crazy when we were driving in.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very blessed. It's been an amazing career, and I've been able to do incredible things. Red Bull has literally given me wings, and it's been amazing, to say the least of it. And this house has become home, and it's the dream that I envisioned. And now we get to ride dirt bikes here. I get to share with my kids, and this is home base for all these crazy ideas. And then we come back here and refocus, reset, and set off on our ways to take on more adventures.
Now, you started off, in New South Wales in Australia. You were an electrician to begin with, and then you found freestyle motocross. You've done backflips over Tower Bridge in London. You've jumped over, it's the Arc de Triomphe in Las Vegas. I mean, just so many incredible jumps. I remember seeing the video of you doing the ski jump as well. You're a record breaker and a dream chaser. Do you think I've missed anything out there? I mean, there's so many stunts that you've done in your career, but those are the ones that, even as a fan myself, that really jump out.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, there's been a lot, one of the coolest things for me is inventing the motorcycle to ride on the water, just because I grew up at the beach.
Remember me? Made in Japan, the pack, the guy with the Evo X? You shouldn't be surprised. It's a Liberty Walk playlist. I'm a customizer. That's all I needed to know. My country is the mecca of tuning. There's lots of things to say. But let's start with this. In Japan, every custo lover knows the name Wataru Kato. Bringing his own style to bear on supercars. That's his thing. Your BMW is too dull, and you're in the Liberty Walk playlist, so let the tuning take over. Kato's signature unmistakable. I'm done talking. Just show me what the car can do.
Get back to Motorfest, the podcast.
Remember me? Made in Japan, the pack, the guy with the Evo X? You shouldn't be surprised. It's a Liberty Walk playlist. I'm a customizer. That's all I needed to know. My country is the mecca of tuning. There's lots of things to say. Well, let's start with this. In Japan, every Custo lover knows the name Wataru Kato. Bringing his own style to bear on supercars. That's his thing. BMW is too dull, and you're in the Liberty Walk playlist, so let the tuning take over. Check it out. New front bumper and rear wing, side skirt automatic ground level, wide fenders with rivets. Kado's signature, unmistakable. I'm done talking. Just show me what the car can do.
Back to the interview.
Remember me? Made in Japan, the pack, the guy with the Evo X? You shouldn't be surprised. It's a Liberty Walk playlist. I'm a customizer. That's all I needed to know. My country is the mecca of tuning. There's lots of things to say. But let's start with this. In Japan, every Custo lover knows the name Wataru Kato. Bringing his own style to bear on supercars. That's his thing. Your BMW is too dull, and you're in the Liberty Walk playlist, so let the tuning take over. it out. New front bumper and rear wing, side skirt at ground level, wide fenders with rivets. Kato's signature, unmistakable. I'm done talking. Just show me what the car can do.
Let's keep talking.
Remember me? Made in Japan, the pack, the guy with the Evo X? You shouldn't be surprised. It's a Liberty Walk playlist. I'm a customizer. That's all I needed to know. My country is the mecca of tuning. There's lots of things to say. But let's start with this. In Japan, every Custo lover knows the name Wataru Kato. Bringing his own style to bear on supercars. That's his thing. side skirt at ground level, wide fenders with rivets. Kato's signature, unmistakable. I'm done talking. Just show me what the car can do.
To our podcast.
There's been time where I was working 12 to 14-hour days, 7 days a week, working 2 or 3 different jobs sometimes, just to pay for another hour of flying and another flying lesson. And yeah, it's been worth it.
Welcome back to Motorfest, the podcast. My name is Becky Evans, and this is a podcast brought to you by Red Bull and Ubisoft's iconic game, the Crew Motorfest. Now, in this podcast, this is where I get to talk to motorsport athletes about their passions, all things speed, wings, and wheels. And you know what the really cool thing is? You could actually listen to this podcast whilst you're playing the game. So grab one of your dream vehicles, jump in, strap in, because you're about to hear from the athletes that actually get to drive these in the real world. Let's get the show started. Now, today we've got a very, very special guest. We're going to be chatting to Luke Chipella. Luke is a multi-award-winning Red Bull Air Race winner, known for his precision, skill, and fearless flying. From winning the Challenger Cup to landing a plane on a helipad in Dubai, Luke is committed to pushing the boundaries of flying. Luke, we're delighted to have you here today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, I'm just going to jump straight into it. I am terrified of flying. So when I knew I was going to be chatting to you, I was thinking this guy is going to have to tell me everything that gets him up in the morning and says, you know what, I'm going to do a loop in a plane.
Flying aerobatics gives you such a freedom. It's not every day that you can fly aircraft upside down, or you can fly it in reverse, like at 60 kilometers per hour. All the G-forces that we experience, it's something that you cannot experience on the ground. That's why I'm so happy to share it with other people, give them the taste of the freedom that we get, and spread the joy of flying.
Now, I come from a drifting background, and I was around cars from a very, very young age, and it was actually my dad who sort of ignited that in me, because I remember seeing him playing with his race car in the garage. It was the same kind of for you, wasn't it? You went to an air show when you were a very small boy, and then that was it. You were hooked.
Yeah, absolutely. My spark ignited when I was 6 years old. My dad took me to the air show in Poland, and it's just been amazing. I was watching an aerobatic display, and the aircraft was doing a tail slide. It's a figure where you go vertically up, and it seems like you're shutting down the engine, and the aircraft starts to slide back on its tail. And I saw it as a 6-year-old kid, and I was like, Dad, I'm gonna do it in the future. And many 6-year-old kids have different dreams every week. Sometimes you want to be a policeman, the week after you want to be a fireman. But for me, it has never changed. I've been flying now for 26 years, and I still love it.
That's absolutely crazy that you just picked your direction and just stuck with it. I mean, your first flight lesson, you were 14 years old, and then by 16, you'd got your license. So there was definitely method in your madness. This was all moving towards where you are today.
Yeah, absolutely. I was so motivated. Like from this air show, I started playing with aircraft models, free-flying models, and then I just went to the airport and I became what's known as a hangar rat. Cleaning the airplanes for everyone. And in exchange, they would take me for a flight and usually let me fly the aircraft, give me the first lessons. By the time I went solo at 16, I was over the moon. It's been a lot of hard work, but so rewarding as well.
Luke, we were just saying to you just then, flying was always going to be what you were going to do. And I'm going to give you a question, which I almost feel like I know what the answer is already. If you could be a car, a plane, a boat, or a motorbike, which would you be and why?
Yeah, of course I'd go for a plane, but this is what my life is all about. It's always been about flying. I have 13,500 hours in the air. That's like 4 years of my life. 10% of my life has been spent in the air. So I just want to be a better pilot with every flight I take.
I'd love to know more about the bullseye stunt. I mean, we saw and heard it at the beginning of the episode. Personally, for me, I remember seeing that, and I watched the video, and I had a heart attack and was like, oh my God, obviously I know that this guy made this happen because everyone's celebrating it, but I couldn't cope with it.
I almost got a heart attack on the first one as well. It was incredibly difficult project that we did. Landing a plane is such a short distance. It's not something very unusual for this kind of aircraft, but landing the plane on a small helipad that is 600 feet in the air, 200 meters above sea level, that hasn't been done before, and it comes with a lot of difficulties. One of those difficulties is the shape of the building created very special wind vortices, like a little tornadoes coming off the building, hitting the helipad, and these tornadoes wanted to suck in my aircraft and throw it towards the building. And that's what happened on the first two attempts when the winds were quite strong. So usually if you try to land short, you want a lot of wind because the wind will assist you, but not on a helipad. On a helipad, the less wind we had was easier to fly with the plane. So all in all, it took me like 650 practice landings before I went for the actual landing on the helipad, and the first two attempts on the helipad on a windy day, they were not very successful, and then we had to reset and try again the day after, so that was quite challenging.
I feel like the stakes are quite high, especially when you're doing something like that as well. Not only are you on like the Red Bull World stage creating a moment in history, there's the practical element of it as well, of trying to land this thing on a really tall building.
Yeah, so for me, being the best pilot I can be, it's the most rewarding. I'm not doing any of this for fame or money or whatever. I'm just doing it to show that I'm good, and I always want to be the best I can be. And I think we proved with this project that was one of the toughest things I ever did with the plane, and now we can see how successful the project was. We have like way over 1 billion views on the videos all over the platforms. So.
That's brilliant. I mean, it's unbelievable. Now, for you guys that are listening at home, air sport, the sky is literally the limit with this. Aerobatics is a bit like acrobatics, except you're flying an aircraft. There's a lot of other things to consider, though, when you are flying. There's obviously safety, speed, weather. Luke, can you give us a rundown of like the 3 main things that you have to be watching out for when you attempt to do some aerobatics in the sky?
Yeah, I think first will be the weather. All our aircraft don't have very sophisticated instruments, so we have to fly what's known as VFR condition, visual flying rules. We always have to see the ground. We have to stay outside of the clouds, and the winds play a big factor. Then, of course, is the technical standard of the aircraft. We always try to make sure that the aircraft is airworthy. Having an engine failure approaching a helipad so close to the building or flying upside down 2 meters above the runway. Yeah, it's an extreme sport. So the second for sure would be the technical side, and I think the third, but as equal as the other two, would be of course pilot fitness, and we want to make sure I'm rested, I'm in a good physical condition. The G-forces is something that we fight with a lot. We fly from -8 Gs to +10. What it means, I can get up to 10 times heavier, like weighing 80 kilos. I have 800 kilos of force hitting my body. The blood is 10 times heavier, and it drains away from the brain, goes towards my legs. And you can faint and you can lose your consciousness, and that can be, of course, very dangerous when you're close to the ground flying at 400 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, that does sound pretty crazy. I've seen some of the videos, where people, when they put passengers in the plane. That's why I'm frightened, Luke, when you said if I can go in the plane. I'd be like, I'd pass out. I'd be rubbish. You'd be looking back and I'd just be asleep in the back seat. Terrible. Luke, help us understand a little bit more about the specifics of your job. I mean, because what people need to know is obviously you compete in Red Bull Air Race as well, and that is a competition. So what are the skills and the awareness that you need to be able to do this?
Yeah, Red Bull Air Race was one of the best flying I ever had a chance to do, and you fly aircraft at 400 kilometers per hour between gates which are only 15 meters apart. The entire track has like 6 kilometers length, and we fly it in under a minute sometimes. Incredible speeds. The aircraft can roll 420 degrees per second at 0.8 seconds to make a full roll. You need to be incredibly precise and really good pilot in order to plan, not to stay behind the plane. Really good hand-to-eye coordination, I think, is a key factor, and as well as physical fitness, because we are so close to the ground, pulling high G forces. If you lose your concentration for a couple of seconds, this can be really bad for you.
Can you tell us, how you came from, it's quite a small place in Poland that you grew up in, to how you managed to take those steps to becoming the amazing pilot that you are today?
I think it's all about the motivation. If you have a big goal set somewhere on the horizon, then you'll find a way to find the next step and next step. And it's all about those small steps that when you achieve them, they will keep you going. And, I didn't have a very rich parents to support me. To start gliding, I was doing building jobs, renovating the hangar, helping out around the Euroclub when I was 19. I had to make some decisions about going to uni or maybe to the Air Force. The Air Force didn't recruit. I didn't have money for the uni. But I was so motivated, I applied for an au-pair program, and I became a babysitter at 19. I moved to UK, and when the kids were at school, I would just run to the airport and help with the aircraft maintenance there. That's how I got my private pilot license for powered aircraft, and I just kept going at it, and it was really, really good, giving me the motivation to go step by step.
What I was thinking to myself when I was listening to your story there, not everybody feels as comfortable as you would be flying a plane. I mean, much less racing or backflipping in one. What are your top 5 tips for anyone who wants to successfully fly a plane?
You need to love it. When I started flying, you can just imagine my disappointment. It's been my dream for many, many years. When I started flying, what I realized is that I'm getting motion sickness, and I was sick every single flight. But human body is so amazing, and it adapts. That after a couple of months, I didn't have a problem with that. And there's been so many obstacles in my life that try to stop me from flying. But if you love it, you'll do anything to be good at it. And I'm thinking I'm a perfect example of someone going from zero to hero just because of my incredible motivation and the drive to do things, and not a lot of financial support or anything from anyone else.
It's hard to explain to somebody who, when you want to do something so bad. I mean, I can only talk about drifting from my side, and it's you're I don't have the money to do this, but I know I'm going to make it happen, and I've got no choice really. I've got to put myself on the track, or in your case, put yourself in the air, and that's kind of it. And you sort of just make it happen. You just have to push and push and push. And everything, when you wake up every single day, if you have that one thought in mind, you're able to make it happen, I think.
Absolutely, and it will drive you to find ways to do it, like buy another set of tires or buy another hour of flying. There's been time where I was working 12 to 14-hour days, 7 days a week, working 2 or 3 different jobs sometimes, just to pay for another hour of flying and another flying lesson, and yeah, it's been worth it.
Well, let's talk about the Carbon Cub UL. I mean, we've just obviously heard the noise of it. This is the plane that you use for the Bullseye stunt, as well as the Edge 540, which is a single-seater and two-seater. These are the planes that you use for competition and day-to-day life. I'm feeling nosy. If I was to take a look inside these vehicles, what would be some exciting features that I would find?
I think for someone who's into car racing, drifting, or rallies, I think the power-to-weight ratio is quite impressive. The aircraft that we landed on the helipad, it weighs 900 pounds, or for those of you in Europe, 400 kilos, and it has 230 horsepower. It's got a nitrous in it, like some of the racing cars, and with a flick of a switch I can get my engine to get a 50 horsepower extra to go around. The aerobatic aircraft, I have a 10-liter engine which develops 350 horsepower in the aircraft that weighs just over 600 kilos, so the power-to-weight ratio, it's close to Bugatti Veyron, I would say. And that's what allows me to fly the aircraft vertically up and achieve 400 kilometers per hour in the race aircraft. Or thanks to a massive big wing, I can fly as slowly as 50 kilometers per hour in the Carbon Cub. So, yeah, out of those two, it's really hard to say which one is my favorite, but those two are extremely different and opposite to each other. One was made to go fast, the other one was like a rock crawler, slow going, and but I love them both. It's like choosing your favorite child.
How are you sort of refining and modifying these planes to keep up with the demands of the sport? I mean, I know we're always putting, different superchargers or turbochargers on our cars to make it faster. Like, our sport is constantly evolving, so there's always modifications that you need to do in order to keep them up to spec. Is it the same for planes?
We'd love to modify them. It's not so easy to modify the aircraft because there's a lot more regulations that you have to comply with. The Carbon Cub that I used for Dubai, this one has been quite heavily modified from the original. We removed the fuel tanks, which are usually situated in the wings when we put them in the back of the plane to have the center of gravity as low and as far back. That would give me better braking. We designed a carbon fiber belly cover that would protect the aircraft in case I struck the edge of the helipad with my tail. It was like a big bumper, and of course we had nitrous in it. So I felt like Fast and Furious.
That's proper, having nitrous in a plane. I've never even heard that. Do you have to keep the gas bottle up there as well? Like, that's quite heavy.
Yeah, but the bottle was also in the back. That was further enhancement to the center of gravity. So.
Well, speaking of nitrous and cars and everything involved in that, you once raced your plane against Ben Collins in an F1 car. Can you tell us how this came about and who won the race? Was it the plane or the car?
Yeah, so we raced a BMW Sauber against my Edge 540 at one of the air shows in Poland. Stig was the driver, and I have to say I'm very proud that I really kicked his ass.
Perfect. Love it.
After 2 laps, I had to go at idle to try to make it look like we finished close, but yeah, I won it, and I won it with a big margin.
Are there any other memorable stunts that we should know about? And how do these help you become a better competitor? I mean, we've all seen the Bullseye stunt because that was just unbelievable. But is there any other ones that sort of stick out in your mind as that was a good day at work?
Yeah, for sure. I think my first big project with Red Bull was flying under the bridges in Warsaw. Me and the Czech pilot Martin Sonka, we flew under 3 bridges in Poland trying to paint a Polish flag on the Polish National Flag Day. Then I landed on the historic wooden pier in Sopot in one of the Polish famous cities. and that was the project that gave me idea for the bullseye landing later. I also had some fun flying with some of our skydivers, like Game Over with Maya Kuczynska, where I was chasing a skydiver with my plane, flying around her.
Casual.
Yeah, another day at work,
It's another day in the office.
And I have to say it's the best office view you can get, even when I fly the big commercial plane.
We're going to talk about dream vehicles right now. Everybody's got a dream vehicle. Today is your lucky day, Luke. You've been given a ticket to test fly any type of aircraft that your heart desires. Which model would you choose and where would you take it?
I would go for a classic. Like for a lot of car lovers, they would go for a 1960s Mustang or a Bullitt Charger. I would go for a Mustang as well. But it's a P-51 Mustang. It's an American-built fighter from the Second World War, and the aircraft is absolutely incredible. It's fast. It looks very good. For those of you who watched the latest Top Gun movie with Tom Cruise, that's the plane, the silver plane that he was cleaning in his hangar, and I know he's got one, and I hope that's a plane that I will fly one day.
I feel like an old Mustang like that would sound absolutely unbelievable. Like when I think of like vintage cars, what I love about it is the smell, is the sound, these sort of big displacement engines with straight through exhaust. Are we talking the same language here?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a V12 engine.
Wow.
I don't know the capacity from my head, but that must be like 20 something liters capacity there. You're operating at 1,000 horsepower plus, and straight out exhaust. When it starts up, you can see the flames coming out of the exhaust manifold, and the sound is absolutely incredible.
Aside from planes, what are some of the other memorable vehicles that you tried or seen or even thought, I really want one of those?
Oh God, there's so many.
I know, that's such a hard question. It's just like, I don't know, Becky, like there's like 50 that I've seen over the years.
I love I'm a very competitive person, so whatever you put me in, I'll do my best to win it. Like go-karts, don't get me even started in go-karts, because I'll be right there running into everyone just to win the race. And I think I'd love to be a race car driver, like to compete in racing cars, and Formula One would be fun to drive. I would love to drive one of those, and I'd go for Formula One.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I love the fact that we're actually really simple.
Remember me? Made in Japan, the pack, the guy with the Evo X? You shouldn't be surprised. It's a Liberty Walk playlist. I'm a customizer. That's all I needed to know. My country is the mecca of tuning. There's lots of things to say. But let's start with this. In Japan, every custom lover knows the name Wataru Kato. BMW is too dull, and you're in the Liberty Walk playlist, so let the tuning take over. Check it out. New front bumper and rear wing, side skirt at ground level, wide fenders with rivets. Kato's signature, unmistakable. I'm done talking. Just show me what the car can do.
Let's get back to Motorfest, the podcast.
Remember me? Made in Japan, the pack, the guy with the Evo X? You shouldn't be surprised. It's a Liberty Walk playlist. I'm a customizer. That's all I needed to know. My country is the mecca of tuning. There's lots of things to say. But let's start with this. In Japan, every custom lover knows the name Wataru Kato. playlist, so let the tuning take over. Side skirt at ground level, wide fenders with rivets. Kato's signature, unmistakable. I'm done talking. Just show me what the car can do.